Top 5 reasons why the comic book industry is failing. Hey guys, it's Comic Relief Crusader here with, a bit of news about why the comic book industry is failing. And this news comes from none other than Gail Simone, who gives her top 5 reasons why. Now, for those of you that don't know, Gail Simone is an American writer best known for her works in DC Comics with Birds of Prey, Batgirl. She even wrote Red Sonja, and the longest running female writer on Wonder Woman to date. Well, today she gives her top 5 reasons why the comic book industry is failing, and she makes some pretty good points. Here we go. Number 5 for her reasons: lack of distribution options. Now, remember the day where you could just walk into a grocery store or a gas station and just take a look at the spinner rack and find comics that you need, or you went from store to store just hunting for comics here and there, whatever you could get your hands on. Well, that's a big thing, because nowadays, with physical and digital media going to big distributors like Diamond Distributors, which is one of the largest out there, UCS, and Amazon, basically you're not finding comics essentially anywheres where you used to be able to get comic books, and that's making it hard for a lot of hunters, a lot of readers, to just go out and grab a comic book where you used to be able to get comic books. Now you have to try to find a comic book shop, even if you live in a local area, to be able to find one, which makes things really hard for some people to be able to go out and buy a good comic book. Now the second one is price point. And, well, many comics on the shelves now, I mean, that is if you can find any on a shelf right now, are showing a lot of introductory prices of like $5, $6, or even like practically $8, $9. For example, like Ultimate Invasion #1. And this makes it harder for a lot of readers that want to spend their hard-earned cash on just one book alone, which is really nuts, especially if it's an impulse buy, or if you're wanting to buy maybe 2 issues, but you really want one, but it's like maybe about $8, $9. Who wants to spend $8, $9 for maybe a story that they might not like? It doesn't really make any sense. And on top of that, it's your hard-earned cash that's going out there for something that hopefully maybe you might like. The exception is somebody like Peter Cementi with King Cryptid, who's actually made it very affordable and keeping it at a $1.99 price point, keeping it cheap for anybody that wants to check out their comics. So, your hard-earned cash at work for you. Number 3, well, not allowing the artist room to contribute. You know, increasingly big companies like Marvel and DC have been, well, outsourcing their work to other countries instead of hiring people in the land where their company is at, mainly in North America. And this is causing a big stink in the comic book industry, especially when some of these companies are hiring out of Argentina or Thailand or even Mexico. I mean, for Egypt and China, for God's sake. Outsourcing of work to other countries basically because they don't want to hire you guys out there makes it very hard for anybody that lives basically in North America to even make a living because they can get the work cheaper outside the country. Number 2, and this is a big one, not respecting the stories that came before. This is probably one of the most controversial that Simone listed. And it's been a reason for a lot of canceled and labeled bigots by the extreme left in the industry. Much of it is a lack of respect for the characters that came before, replacing it with race and gender swapped counterparts, and essentially forcing you, the reader, to accept it. And it's just mired in several fetishes, let's put it that way, which have caused a lot of characters to be ruined and changed. And, well, remember that one issue back in All New X-Men, Volume 1, number 40, back in 2015? Bobby apparently was gay and he didn't even know it. And that's just one. And the big one, number 1, not making sure veteran pros have work if they want it. Now this is huge because the comic book industry is notorious for ageism. And that's being like the worst problem. And it's not just basically ageism, it's also, well, how one weighs in on their political preferences, let's put it that way. I mean, even Grant Morrison lamented that he's been aged out and unable to write for mainstream comics in recent years. Mark Millar has also suggested, in order to generate hype for storylines, to bring back seasoned veterans, which is a crucial thing that Marvel and DC really need to do right now. I mean, you have veteran artists finding better places in independent homes, like, for example, The Ghosts of Matacumbre by Graham Nolan, or you have other artists out there like Ethan Van Sciver's Cyberfrog or R.T. Bear's Black and White, having to go out and basically make a living selling their own stuff because either Marvel or DC or even IDW and more than likely Image don't want to hire you because of your age or your political or religious proclivities. And there you have it. There's the top 5 as promoted and mentioned by Gail Simone, veteran writer. If you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe and spread the link around. Really helps me out as we're marching a little bit closer to monetization. So when that happens, we're going to have some fun, so get ready for that. This is Comic Relief Crusader. I'll talk to you soon.